de tema y a continuación les vamos a presentar una entrevista con Ben Hammersley, editor en jefe de la revista Wired UK, especializada en temas de tecnología y cómo esta afecta al entretenimiento, la política y la sociedad en general. En esta primera entrega, Hammersley nos dice cómo el Internet ha revolucionado la práctica del periodismo.
Well, it's completely changed everything I do in journalism. You know, I was a war correspondent for many years, and my big dream when I was younger, when I started off in journalism, my big dream was that I wanted to be a war correspondent where I could be one person on their own with just a bag, where I would have everything in there, where I could send television and still pictures and radio and all of that back to London from anywhere on the planet, just a single bag. And it wasn't possible. You know, when I was 18, 19, it wasn't possible. And over the past few years, it's become possible. And when I went to Afghanistan a few times, you know, I would just take a bag and I would have a camera like this, and a satellite phone and my laptop, and I could make TV and I could make radio and I could make blog posts and newspaper articles and send them all back, you know, from the side of a hill in Afghanistan. That's changed everything. Google has changed everything. You know, Wikipedia has changed everything. You know, technology has completely transformed journalism in the past 10 years. Completely. I think the blogs are the media. They're not helping the media, they are the media. You know, of course, we still have television and we still have, you know, newspapers, and we have professional mainstream media. You know, we get paid to do this, right? But I don't think there's really now, for many subjects, there isn't really a difference between professional journalists and amateur journalists who do it for love or for fun, whatever. It's all just one big ecosystem. It's one big jungle, you know. If blogs are helping the media in any way, they're providing competition. They mean that we have to be much better. You know, we can't be paid to be the same as bloggers, because bloggers do it for free, right? So if we want to keep getting paid to be journalists, we have to be better than bloggers, which means we have competition. It means we have to get better. So if bloggers are helping the media in any way, they're making the media get better, or they're killing the old and the sick. It's like, you know, it's like competition. Some bloggers are better than some journalists, yes, of course. But there are many bloggers who are terrible at journalism. But the very best bloggers are better than most journalists, yes, of course. And this is the problem, right? This is the problem, that in order for you to be better than the best bloggers, as a professional journalist, you've got to be really good. Because the best bloggers are also really good. And they're doing it for free. So yeah. Now, does that mean that all bloggers are journalists? No. Does that mean that there isn't space for professional journalism? No. But what it does mean is that there are some bloggers who are better journalists than most journalists. It's a tragic thing, but it's true.
Es momento de hacer una muy breve pausa, pero al volver les tendremos la segunda entrega de esta entrevista, donde Hammersley nos habla de su experiencia como corresponsal de guerra en Irán.
Y también conozca un cepillo que además de ser solar, no requiere de pasta de dientes. Ya volvemos con esto y mucho más, por supuesto, aquí en Fractal. Muchas gracias por continuar aquí con nosotras y seguimos con la segunda parte de la entrevista, donde Hammersley nos cuenta paso a paso de lo que fue su guerra cuando fue como reportero a la guerra de Irán, y también de ahí cómo terminó en Wired UK.
I have to say I really It's a difficult thing to admit, but I really enjoyed being a war correspondent. And I really liked being in those countries. I really like Afghanistan as a country. I really like Beirut as a city. For example, I like Iran a lot. Iranians are great. It's very enjoyable and it's very challenging. No, I really liked it. I feel sometimes it's difficult to sort of say that, really, but if there was a way of being a war correspondent that paid money now, I probably would be doing it today. But you know, there comes a time when you have a house you have to pay for and a family and all of that, and it's just not suitable anymore. But if there was a way of making the same amount of money as I do now as a war correspondent, I'd be doing that right now. Because at the same time as I was being a war correspondent, I was also doing technology, and I've always had 2 or 3 things happening at the same time. So it wasn't difficult. When we started Wired magazine in Britain, they were looking for somebody who knew technology, but also knew long-form journalism. So that's why I got the job I got. And then over the past year, I changed my job to be editor-at-large, which is this sort of special position, which means that I can travel the world and be ambassador for the magazine, but it also means I can do a lot more technology work. And so I also run a design studio, and I come to Campus Party, and I speak around the world, and I write things. And all of that happened because over the past 10 years or so, I've always been doing 2 or 3 things at the same time. Well, I think you just have to look out this window and look at the 6,000 young people that we have here in Mexico City today. And I'm sure if we had Campus Party in some other part of Mexico, we'd have another 6,000 people there as well. It's very early days for the internet in Latin America, but the future is so bright, and there's so much talent here, and there are so many people who want to do really cool things here that I'm really looking forward to coming back next year, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after, and just seeing all of the things that are going to be made. Because I think if Mexico is an incredibly talented place, and there's going to be some really cool stuff that comes out here, and it's going to be made by these kids, these 6,000 kids here. Yeah.